G'day YouTube people. When I did my review of Eric Street the other day, I said one of the things that I couldn't check was drainage, because obviously it hadn't rained. And yeah, you need to check drainage because there might be, well, puddly bits left in the surface of the road. There might be drains that haven't been connected properly. They might be blocked up. You just got to check that the thing actually drains after it rains. Now, of course, council's probably thinking, God, where the hell do we find someone that's stupid enough to go out on a wet, miserable, windy day when it's pouring with rain and go out and ride up and down the path and actually check the drainage characteristics? And well, I guess that's where I come in. So that's what I've done today. Ridden out to Cott in the rain. Well, it didn't rain all the way there and back, and just had a look to see that, you know, the little bit of rain that did fall actually didn't leave lots of puddles and stuff all over the path. So let's have a look at the results of that.
If you ride a bike on a regular basis, hopefully I don't have to explain to you how unpleasant it can be riding through deep puddles, particularly if you don't have mudguards front and rear. There's nothing like getting cold water splashed up your backside that's been flicked off your back tyre. Now, in this case, I just want to start by showing you a dry stretch of road on the way towards Cottesloe. This is between the Leederville and the city, and you can see going up the hill here, it's completely dry with a bit of threatening sky in the background. On the way home though, different story. It was wet and there was quite a bit of puddling on the path, and in fact in some spots I had to deviate from staying on the left to get around some of the puddles. So that's the kind of stuff I was looking for on the Eric Street path. And look, I won't leave you hanging. I'll just say at the start, I didn't find anything like that on Eric Street. Now, that might be because there's almost no flat ground on the Eric Street path between the railway line and the beach. It's all up and down, and some of it is quite up and down. But even then, one of the things I think you really need to watch for is what happens when it rains really heavily. Does the water immediately run off the path to the sides, or does it run down the path? So you end up essentially riding in something like a dam outlet chute, what do they call them, like the overflow things, where there's just this torrent of water running along the path instead of coming off the path and giving you some dry space. I mean, that's what happens on the Anzac Bridge on the city side. It's pretty terrible. Now, I just wanted to show this a little bit here because this obviously shows a badly drained flat section of concrete roof, which is nothing to do with the path. But yeah, I just wanted to stop here and show you what the ocean looked like, because yeah, it was pretty rough, quite horrible, very grey, mucky day. But what I did notice when I was leaving this is one of the drains on the roof had in fact blocked. And so there was this nice deep puddle of water on a supposedly flat roof, and yeah, drain that was full of, I don't know what, leaves, grass, something or other. So I've often seen with newly built paths that sometimes, yeah, the drains are just either not connected properly. The old Leichhardt Council had a terrible problem with building fake drains. Don't know why, but they'd build drains where they'd put in a grate and they wouldn't actually connect it up to the stormwater system or anything. So when it rained hard, the water would just fill up that little drain, and that was it. I also just took a photo of this disabled car parking spot just to show the Subiaco post, if they bother to watch, that yes, there is in fact disabled parking outside the OBH. They've just moved the spot a little bit. Anyway, what I was also looking for was just any low spots or any corrugations where water could build up or pull on the surface. This was an interesting interaction with the silver car. The driver went over the little speed hump and then waved me across. Very polite. I waved back, said thank you, that kind of thing. So I'd also do want to try and start building up a picture of what it's like with driver interactions at intersections like that. Do the drivers stop and let you across, or do they just go blasting across in front of you? I guess only time will tell whether people are polite and considerate or not. Now, this intersection, I just picked up something interesting. Notice the pink pads on either side with the tactile stuff, and in the middle there's that kind of dashed section. That's the drain, and I almost rode over it because I looked at it and thought, oh, that's the concrete ramp that I've got to take. Because notice over this side there's a big concrete ramp with a pink tactile pad. But going back the other way, okay, there's big wide grey ramp. It's obviously a ramp, right? With a pink pad in the middle of it. This side, it's just bitumen. I'm not sure why they did it this way without putting a concrete pad there as a ramp. But yeah, I came close to going over the drain instead of taking the correct path, which was obviously the asphalt bit. And you can see all the other intersections they've used concrete pads and or concrete ramps and pads. But otherwise, yeah, the drainage along here looks good. That was the only puddle I could find, probably a depression caused by vehicles going back and forth across there.